Hey everyone, tonight we're making meatloaf. Dun 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 dun. Everybody's meatloaf is different, I know. I make meatloaf differently for different people, how I'm feeling, different kinds of meat. There's 100 ways to make meatloaf. Tonight we're just making a simple meatloaf. I'm using ground chicken. You can use ground beef, ground pork, whatever. But anyway, the ingredients you're going to need for tonight's dinner is a pound of ground meat. That's half a diced onion. That's maybe a quarter of a yellow pepper. You need ketchup in the back, Lowry seasoning salt, Italian seasoning, garlic over there, onion over there, pepper. We're going to need an egg for that. Also, over here, we're going to have Goya Mexican rice as a side dish, and then we're going to make carrots. My kids like the sweet carrots, so we're gonna cook these up in some butter, and we're going to add some brown sugar and cinnamon to them. Kind of like baked beans, but not carrots. They like it. They love it. So let's get to cooking, okay? Okay, good evening, everybody. As you saw in the intro, we're going to be making meatloaf. But I'm not starting with the meat. I'm going to start with this carrot because we're having carrots with dinner. I have a whole 3 bags of carrots, and I don't know what to do with them. So I'm going to get to cooking them up. And hold on, almost forgot my knife. I'm gonna peel them and cook them real quick. I'm gonna use my mat today. All right. Yeah, I don't like this coloration on here like that, but we're just gonna peel them off real quick. And I'm just gonna show you what I do because I've already got some already sitting over there, ready to go. I just wanted to give you a glimpse. You don't need to see. Oh, I didn't mean to use that. I wanted to use this big one. That's all right. I'll dice that little one up for a snack for later. Or maybe I'll just throw it in the pot. My kids love carrots, and they like it the way I'm cooking it now, even from a can. I wouldn't do I'd cut a step out if I was using canned. But nonetheless, it's the same. It's the same thing. Let me just rinse this off a little bit. Okay. So I'm just going to dice this up. Oop, that carrot wants to hang on. I'm throwing all those scraps to the side because I want this for later. That for later. For another something. You know, soup season's coming. And we don't want to be ready to make a soup and not have anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dice these up. I'm not the best dicer, but I'm just going to, not dice, slice. I'm just going to do this real slow because I don't want to cut myself. Once I get the motion down, then I can usually go about it. But I'm always afraid that I'm going to cut my fingers. So I just sliver these up like this real quick. Today I can't seem to cut. Because normally I can go dook, 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 dook right down, but maybe it's because the carrot is tall, you know, versus something I'm doing like that with, you know, like chop, 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 chop. I should have cut it in half. Then I would have been able to dice them, but I want them little circles, so I'll just take the extra time it takes to do it this way. And these are much better than canned. Everything made at home is better than pre-packaged if you have the time to do it. Because if you don't have the time to do it, well, then guess what? That can of corn, that can of carrots, the can of peas, whatever you got, it'll just have to do. And we've eaten them. I'm sure everybody's eaten them. We all do. Not everybody has time to cook from scratch, you know. If you have time, that's great. If you don't, then you have to do what you have to do and just put the fresh where you can. When you could spare it, you spare it. This carrot's hard. Glad I'm starting dinner early. Because I feel like these carrots are going to take forever to cook. Okay, so in my pot over here, I already have carrots. And it's got a little bit of water in it. Sorry, my pot's terrible. This is real life. It's only got a smidge of water, just enough to cover the bottom of the pan, I guess. There's that much water in there. But, yeah, but it has just water and a little bit of brown sugar in there. That's what I'm going to start it in. And I just want to soften them up a little bit by boiling them. I hate to boil off all the flavor, but that's how I know how to get these hard ones nice and soft. If they were, if they weren't quite so hard, I would just soak them and call it a day. I'm losing all of my stuff today. But that's what I did. I put those in there. I'm just going to real slow just par cook them. And then I'm going to put them in butter. I mean, you can't, with all the carrots in here, it's not really very much water. It's more going to like steam it a little bit, but I'm not going to steam it. So I'm going to put those over there. We're going to turn that on. Oops, wrong one. I'm just going to turn that on low. When I say low, 1 to 10, I'm putting mine on a 2. I just want them to cook slowly. All right, so let's get back to the actual dinner. That's not dirty. I just cracked an egg and I sat the eggshell down. Not the eggshell. I was putting it in another container. I had a hole in it, so I sat it down there. But anyway, we're going to start with a pound of ground chicken and clean hands. This is a half an onion. Hold on. Okay, so got the meat in there. I had a little bit more meat that I added to this because I had it left over from another meal. It's a tiny bit under here. It's like not even a quarter of a pound. It might have been like an eighth. I'm not really sure. It was left over from something else we ate, and I wanted to use it up. So anyway, this is a half an onion. Use that side already. I'm only gonna add half of that in there right now because it's not a lot, and the kids don't like a lot. Yellow and a little bit of orange pepper. That's gonna go in there. Now this wasn't even a half of a pepper. It was maybe an eighth again. Very, very small amount. It was frozen. That's why it looks mushy in there. But, oh, I forgot the breadcrumbs. Hold on a minute. Okay. I had to get the breadcrumbs. I almost forgot. So, just a little bit. Some meat in there. This is an egg and a half. I'm not going to use it all, but it was already out. What I'm going to do later is tomorrow, I'll eat that with whatever's left of the egg. a scrambled egg because I don't eat very much. Okay, so that's it. Call just one egg, one medium egg, whatever you do. Okay, so now I'm going to put in some seasoning, Italian seasoning. Just crumbling it up in my hand as I do it. I don't know what that does to it, but I was told by somebody I know that cooks all the time that I should do that. So I did. Now I'm just going to mix this up, and then what I do is I kind of smell the meat, and it smells a certain way for me, and then I know I'm done. But all the seasonings I'm putting in here are to taste. So it's your preference, whatever you like. I can't tell you to put a whole tablespoon of garlic in there when you hate garlic. But these are the ingredients that I use, and you use them to your preference. Okay, so that was Italian seasoning. I'm going to use a little bit of seasoned salt, no MSG. Onion powder. Even though there's onion in it, I still stick the onion powder in there. Garlic. Now, I don't have my gloves, but I think I might use some plastic bags on my hands. I don't feel like sticking my hands in the meat today. Now, for the breadcrumbs, we have gluten and wheat issues. Not as much the gluten, but something to do with the wheat. But, yeah. So I buy this plain. It looks like, almost like Rice Krispies. Let me see if I can show it to you. See that? And they're just like, they're hard though. And it gives your food like this crunch. So what I do is I usually mix it in a baggie, and I will, not this one I haven't done yet, roll it over the rolling pin and whatnot, and then it still has the crumbles in it, but not as much. Okay, this one I did season, basically Italian seasonings. And you smell it. It smells like, like Italian breadcrumbs. The kids love this better than actual breadcrumbs. What is this made from? I don't even know. It's made from gluten-free crumbs, rice flour, raisin juice concentrate, honey, and salt. So anyway, about a palm full. If I feel like that's too much, then I'll stop. You need something to bind the meat together. Okay, and here's a little step you might find disgusting, but don't knock it till you try it. Ketchup. My kids love it. Okay, so now we're just going to incorporate all this together, and then I will smell it, I will look at it, I will season it up a little bit more as needed. I have 2 pans over here. I bought this pan from the dollar store thinking, oh great, I can make more bread, because Eric loves bread, the kids love the homemade bread. I get home, and these things are so tiny, I didn't even realize that I was buying it. So this one's a little bit bigger. Not much bigger, but there's the end to end. But this one's wider. So depending on how much meat this conjures up, I'll decide which pan I'm going to use then. I'm going to have to get in here with my hands. It's too hard to stir with this. I'm definitely going to need more breadcrumbs. It's very wet. Let me get my plastic bags for my hands. Okay, so I got my little baggie for my hand. As soon as I stuck my hand in there, I realized it definitely needed more breadcrumbs. Crushing it in there because I want to, that's why. I don't have a glove, so this is what I'm using. I'm out of gloves. I use gloves for everything in this house. I'm a little bit of a germaphobe with my hands, so when I braid hair, I put the gloves on because it feels weird when the hair gets under my nails and whatnot. Trying to make it stay on my hand a little bit better. Wish I had a pair laying around the house somewhere. I usually have a pair somewhere. But yeah, I'm just going to mix that up until it's not quite so wet. Sorry about that. So we're about at not quite a half a cup. Probably now we're at a half a cup when I add this in here now. We'll be about a half a cup. More or less. Oh, that's better, yeah. Not quite as wet. Oh, I could smell it already. Yeah, that's seasoned well. I could smell the onion, the garlic, everything. Italian flavors in there. Yeah. Still a little bit too wet for my liking. I probably put too much egg in there. I should have stayed at half an egg, but we'll get there. Hey, you know what? When you add more bread to it, just makes more food, right? Nobody's going to care. You know? Nothing is perfect. Let me get this out from underneath me, stopping me from being able to move my bowl. Set it off to the side there. Trying like heck not to get my hands in it, but here they are. All in the mix. That was a pun. I didn't mean that the way I said it. Oh yeah, that's good right there. Much better. Yeah, it's holding together better now. I just put too much liquid in it. And chicken can't stand up for itself. I say that all the time. It really just, whatever you want it to taste like, that's what you make. And I can tell you this. Oh, it smells wonderful. It's funny because I know I talk about Eric a lot, but he's always my sidekick. He was making something the other day, and I saw him smelling it. And I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Smelling it." And I said, "Why?" And he goes, "To see if it's seasoned right." Oh, well, shut my mouth. He knew what I was doing. Huh. Because I never told him to smell his food when he's making it. I guess he sees me doing it and then figured out what I was doing it for. Okay, so let me just wash this meat off of my hands. On my other hand anyway. Oh, I bought this dish soap from the dollar store. Citrus dishwashing liquid. Oh, heavens no. That's a no for me. It smells terrible. You get no lather out of it. It doesn't degrease your dishes. I thought, oh, this is great. Let me buy 2 of them. What a mistake that was. What do you think, guys? Little one? Big one? I'm going to try the little one. Just to see, maybe it'll be long and short or tall or something, you know. Let's just start with the little one. It's nothing but a little bit of that dollar store soap that I hate. Now what I do with the ketchup, since we like the ketchup in it, I put some in the bottom of the pan. Zoop, 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 zoop. Slather that around just a little bit. Let me get my slatherer. If I can find my slatherer. Clankety, clankety, clank, I know. Found my slatherer. Found her. Just wanted to make sure there wasn't nothing stuck inside there. You know? Slather, slather. It's a lot of ketchup. I just wanted to kind of coat the bottom of the pan. Instead, I got the pan soaked. Okay, I'm going to form that into a ball and put it in the pan. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. I had to take it out of the pan so I can form it into a loaf. But hopefully I won't have to use, you know what? I got another bag right here. I had to get in it with my hands. There we go. Gotta wipe that down good before we get sick, right? Okay, so now, I don't want to put that in the thing. What I do here is I usually take 2 fingers, but they're in a baggie, so I just do this. Boink, 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 boink. See? Boink, 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 boink. Sometimes I put cheese in the middle and then I fold it over, seal it up, and I put barbecue sauce on the bottom, barbecue sauce on the top. Without the peppers, you know, I use onion, but maybe not diced onions. I use onion powder. But that's and I make like a meatball with barbecue sauce. There's so many different ways. But when I'm done with that, I scrub this counter down. I take what's the barbecue sauce. I'm thinking about the barbecue sauce now. The ketchup that I put in the bottom. I'm just going to slather it on the top. Okay. Now that's all got to go into the wash now because it's been on all that raw meat. Okay, so I'm going to cover this and I'm going to stick it in the oven. Chicken cooks quick, so I'll check it in about a half an hour. 350, not a very hot oven, just a regular oven. Oh, also what I did was, now I was taught this also somewhere, probably from my mother or my father, my grandmother, I don't know, somebody was cooking and taught me. I can't show you, I can't get my fingers under it. A lot of times I'll do this. I've been told, I don't know who told me, when they told me, or even if anybody told me. I might have watched it on TV, I don't know. But anyway, I learned it somewhere. And that's supposed to keep things from scorching on the bottom. It gives it a little bit of like an air space. I've even put like a little couple of balls of tinfoil in there because I always thought, well, how's there air space? But that's what I'm doing. Might not be the air. It might be the thickness of the thing. I don't know, but that's what I was told. I'm going to cover this up, put it in the oven. I'll be back for the rice. All right, I steamed the carrots in the pot over there. I just wanted to kind of show you what what kind of texture or whatever you're looking for. But see this? They just bend in half. Oops, sorry. See? They got a little bit of snap to them. Not a whole lot, but they just, like when you go to bend it, it snaps. But that's what you want to look for, because I'm going to put them now in a little bit of butter and a little more brown sugar. And sorry, I ate that one. A little more butter, brown sugar, and a tiny bit of cinnamon. And the kids will gobble this whole pot down. We're going to get a go on the other things. I'm afraid I'm going to burn myself. Okay, so now we're taking the top off, and I'll pour off some of that juice that's in there. That's just from cooking. I'll pour that off. I'll put a little bit more barbecue sauce on top. Hold on. Okay, so I poured that little bit of grease off. I didn't want it to be all greasy in there, and I'm just going to spread a little bit more of this ketchup on top. I'm going to stick it under the broiler because it's already cooked. I'm sorry, I'm doing this one-handed, so I can't really see. It's kind of hard to cook through the viewfinder. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to slather it all around a little bit, and I'm going to put it on under the broiler. I just saw ketchup jump overboard there, and it's going to caramelize on top and all that because the meatloaf is already done. So let me throw that in the broiler for a few minutes, and we'll get back with the other food. All right, we're going to start on the rice. Sorry, Mexican rice. Try to reach the water. All right, we're just going to do it by the package instructions. I'm not going to have you watch the whole thing, but it calls for 2 cups of water. The oh, can't read that. 2 cups of water, the contents of the package, and some rice. I mean, it's not rice, and some butter. Let me get a spoon. Can't reach my mixing spoon. Oh, we'll get my trusty dusty little spoonula. All right, so we're gonna put a little bit of the country crock in there, original, and it says, I don't know, I think it says a tablespoon or so. I'm just gonna add some, what looks like a tablespoon to me. Now it says, bring to boil, cover tightly for 1 minute boiling, full boil, and then you're gonna simmer. 4 carrots in this pot. Didn't make a whole lot, but they're still hungry. We can open up a can. Fight over who gets the can, right? Because nobody wants the can. All right, so that's 1 tablespoon. I'm going to go with 2 tablespoons. Usually it's a palm full. I guess my palm is 2 tablespoons. And it's not even a heaping. Well, it might be a little bit over, but it's definitely a scoop. Okay, that's that. Oh, just dropped my utensils on the floor. Oh, and just a pinch of this cinnamon. I've even used, for the sweetener, I've used, and it's not a whole lot, I just drizzled it on the top. I've even used pancake syrup when we didn't have any brown sugar or anything like that. And sometimes I've used pancake syrup and the brown sugar, because sometimes that's just what I want. You know, it each gives you a different flavor on your tongue. I say it a lot, but it's the only way I could describe what it actually does. It just hits differently. But that's it. we're going to let that warm up while that rice is cooking. And there, you see, like you can see the juice just barely, like I did with the water. That's, I don't know if you can see in there. That's the butter and the brown sugar. And that's it. It's just going to warm up on the pot. I didn't even have the burner on. These carrots are still warm. It's just going to sit in that. You know, I infused it with the brown sugar earlier on today when I added just a little bit with the, and simmered it with that water. Oh, my rice is boiling. So it says leave covered 1 minute at full boil. So that's what I'm going to do. And then turn it down. I'll be back when all of this is done and on the plate. Here we are back with the rice. Going to give a nice little check on it. Oops, got the garbage too. Oh, that's done. Look at that. All right, I'm going to plate that up with the rice and the carrots. Okay, Eric, it's your turn to taste it. Well, your turn again to taste test.
Okay.
Start with what? The rice you're starting with?
Yeah, I love the rice.
Just take a little taste. It's very hot. Haha, gotta do a double down, huh? Head back. And those are the homemade carrots, sweet carrots.
It tastes better than the actual thing.
The canned ones you're used to eating? Mm-hmm. They're always better when it's home.
My favorite part.
The meatloaf is your favorite part?
Mm-hmm. It's good.
It's good? Good! Got the girl voice out? So, Grandma made?
Kid approved.
Grandma approved. Manja. Okay, and there's my plate. The end piece, my favorite. Well, there you have it. I can't wait to dig in. I hope you try it. I know you'll like it. The kids loved it. So please like and subscribe, leave a comment, and don't forget, smash that notification bell.